All right, holy crap, it's hot. I have to use the push mower again today. See how my bump held up. It's not as bad as it was. I'm gonna have to rake it down again. So a little ridge line from the grader guy follows. Usually on a dirt road, it'll just follow the edge there and creates a lip, and it's hard on the tie rods and stuff like that. Your vehicles if you don't smooth them out once in a while. Well, that's it for me today. Kind of a short day. Only got 2 hours of actual work in, but a lot of running around to say I only got 2 hours of work. But I had to go pay my credit card and stuff like that. Slow down, see if there's any metal. Metal? Do you have metal for me? You have to give these residents a talking to if they're not leaving enough metal for me. I can't use the 2x4s or 2x trim, whatever. The other week they left out a stove for me, but I couldn't lift it. They have to leave heavy objects, but small enough, but liftable enough, but not enough to break my dad's truck. Yeah, I've actually got quite a bit of metal there. There's quite a few residents, cottagers in here, eh? So, uh-oh, you ain't gonna dust me out. But I'm gonna dust you out. And he had his AC on with the window up anyway. Yeah, I can take it like a man. Suck in that country dust. And it's pretty dusty, I gotta say. Yeah. It's hot and dry, so this road gets really bad when it gets dry. It's still not as dry as you'd think, because usually it's complete whiteout when somebody drives by you. Like, it gets to the point where you don't know where you are on the road. It can get that dusty. Especially if it's a big 4x4 coming around the corner, you know, way faster than you probably should be. Big tires that kick up a lot of dust. Big tires with no mud flaps. Yeah. It's disgustingly hot right now. But I got that done, so tomorrow I get those clients done tomorrow. I got one of my regulars, then one of my not regular clients. I'll have to borrow his car though, which could be kind of cool because it's a little VW twin turbo there. You hear him when he pulls into the stores, a little turbo just humming away there. We need to give her a shot of gas. Not that I'm going to abuse it or anything like that, but you know, it's just going to be fun to drive. If you've never driven a what do you call them, little hatchback Volkswagen Jettas, and Jetta, and what's the other one there? Call it the Jetta. One's diesel, one's not. And anyway, it's the one that everybody buys, kind of turns it into like a sports car. What is it called? It's a little hatchback. Anyway, dandy little car, a lot of fun to drive. I've driven them before. I had a co-worker that had one, and it was like souped up for autocross. You know where you drive, you see guys, they drive for time around pylons in a parking lot, and it's like extreme precision driving. He had it set up for that, so it was all low gear, never like that. And GTI, it was a yeah, that's what it is, the GTI. Ooh, that's dangerous. Danger doing that. Little old ladies, eh? Like the way they look at it, well, I'm not on the highway. You're not on the highway, but you're at the entrance to a highway. You know, go in a little further before you turn around, you know what I mean? Just so people have time to, you know, dodge you and hit the ditch instead of you. But anyway, yeah, the GTI. So he has one of them. He has one of Dems, and they're fun. Yeah, so gotta go home. A little too hot to play around with sharpening chainsaws today, but at least I got all the tools I need to maintain my saws now. For now, anyway. Got my scrench. It's not a wrench, it's called a scrench. I've got files for pretty much every saw. Got my file sharpening jig, or chain sharpening jig. Got the new raker gauge for sharpening. And a lot of guys, like, I'll have to show you in a video. If it's not too bad, it's just, I gotta get out of the heat, so I might go out later and make a little video just to show you how the raker gauge works and why you use it and why it's a good idea to have one. Saves you lots of time. Gonna save you a lot of money, because I know guys that basically buy a chain, right, every time they do a job for, you know, with a chainsaw, which they get the customer to pay for the chain, which is no problem. I mean, I do the same. If it was a big job, you know, it's good to have a spare chain, right? But they never sharpen their chain. You know, they go, I don't have time for it, I don't mess around with that. But I think it's just because they don't know how to do it right. Once you do it right, like, I mean, a $20 chain should make you thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, unless you hit like nails and stuff like that and really mess them up. Or you hit rocks and stuff and really mess them up. But considering how many times I've hit rocks and chain and nails, and, you know, especially when you're cutting old pines, everybody nails all kinds of stuff into pine trees, right? So you're always like halfway through the cut, there's like a spike in there or something. Like, where the hell did that come from, right? You get that all the time, and that'll mess up the teeth a bit. But you can always usually bring it back. It's only when you really hit something mangly that you lose a chain, you know what I mean? So that said, like, you could keep a chain going for a long time. And if you regularly maintain that chain, like, you'll sharpen it out of use before it wears out. You know what I mean? And like, when a chain gets dull on your chainsaw, one thing that happens is when it hits something, it actually it's kind of like forging it, right? It'll actually take the edge of the tooth, not only chip it, but it'll forge it harder, which makes it harder for the file to remove material. Which at some point, it gets to the point where you can't remove any material and you have to replace the chain. Because you have to file so much away, you can't, right? So, you know, like, but that only happens maybe to a tooth or two. Like, literally, if you have like 3 good teeth on the saw, it'll cut. Like, I kid you not. It's amazing what you can get away with. But it cuts best when you maintain it. So before every job, I do a quick, just a little, you know, like a light sharpening, right? And then, you know, every maybe 3 tanks, I do a light sharpening. You know, that way it doesn't take you forever to sharpen, and it doesn't, you know, your chain's never really dull. You know what I mean? So that's just the way I do it. Everybody has their thing, and, you know, you do it one way and say, well, that's not how you do it. You do it this way. And so, that's not how you do it this way. But getting the rakers right is a big thing.